Hey folks, this is Matthew. I'm one of the guys that makes Beekeeper Studio, and I'm here to give you a quick walkthrough. So I'm going to just jump in here and connect to my Postgres test database here. This database is the database for my video store. So, it's a bright new business of the future, and this is how I manage all the data for it. I'm going to use a couple of tables through this demo, so I'm going to pin them to the top up here. Here we go, 3 tables. The first thing I want to show you all is the table data view. We can hide this sidebar if we want. So this is a view that it basically acts like a spreadsheet for every table in your database. So you can just double click any table, open it, do spreadsheet things, the resize columns, make them fit the content size. You can copy data and paste it elsewhere. So let's just copy a little bit. I'll paste it in. Oh, is a failed demo from earlier. Just ignore that. Paste it in here. And you'll notice that it just pastes properly. Like it parses the columns, it figures it out. It doesn't screw that up. The copy format is set up for spreadsheet pasting. And you know what? I think I made a mistake in here, right? So I think actually this movie is called African Egg, and this is called Alamo Vid Tape. So I made a couple of mistakes. So I'm going to edit them. And you'll notice that these are now yellow, and these changes aren't in the database yet, but they're kind of staged in this window. Beekeeper's given me a couple of things I can do with those. I can either reset and discard these changes. I can apply them, and there's 2 changes, right? Saying you can apply these 2 changes, or I can copy to SQL and edit the SQL myself to update that data that way. Instead, I'm just going to apply it. They turn green. That data is applied. I can double check by refreshing the table, and that new information has been added. Great. Another thing that's kind of hard with this table is it's kind of wide, and some of the data is in JSON format. So I'm going to pop open the details view, otherwise known as the JSON viewer. You can also open it with this little button up here. And now every row I click, it shows on the right-hand side as a JSON object. And this is really useful for a couple of reasons. One, it makes JSON values like actual JSON values, even if they're stored as text. And 2, it will inline foreign key data. So if we look at the table, language ID is a foreign key out to the language ID table. And if I click this, right, this is the data that is in that table. With this option selected, Beekeeper will auto-expand the foreign key data for each row that you click. So you get all the language data here just for free. If you remove this, then it doesn't expand it by default, but you can still load it by clicking it. And if you have a really, really big table, you can't even see everything on screen. You can search for the field that you care about. And this stays in place as you scan up and down. So this is kind of a nice way to check if the values are the same. I use that all the time. And so that's the table data view. Very useful, I think, for editing and viewing data in your tables. A couple of things that are related to this, let's go through those. So number 1, if you want to see the structure of your table, you can click this button here when you're on the data view, or you can right click and click view structure. And this shows you the columns, indexes, and relations and triggers associated with your table. Just like everywhere else, if I want to make an index, I can click make index. I can give it a name. I can select the options. I can select the field. I can apply it or reset it. We do the same thing everywhere, right? Or copy it to SQL. And it works just how you would expect it to work, given what I've shown you already. The third thing is the entity relationship diagram. So I can see all the tables that either point to film or that film points to. We've already seen that. Language ID and original language ID point to the language table. So this is a kind of a really quick way to see all your relations if you have like a really messy database. Not that you guys have a messy database, but like if you do, you can view them in this diagram instead. And it's, this one's kind of funny because it only has 2 tables, but some of them are really big, right? Like if you have a really big diagram, it's helpful to kind of see all the things that relate and be able to move it around and it really helps to make a clearer picture of how integral this table is to the database. All right, so that's kind of the table views. Let's talk about writing SQL, because that's the thing that we do, right? So we'll just do a simple query here from actor limit 10. So just going to give you a quick example. You can write multiple queries in here too, from film limit 10, and then run them all, and you'll get a little select dropper here, so you can select which one you want to view. But I don't want to do that. I just want to run the actor query. This is the same tech as before too, right? Like you can do spreadsheety things, copy paste, make columns bigger, all that kind of stuff. But one thing that's frustrating a lot of times when you write SQL is, this was a simple query, but what if this was a 300-line query? If you notice a mistake in your data, right? If Grace's name is wrong, if I want to go fix this without, like, in the interface, I have to, okay, so Grace is in the actor table, I need to load actor, I need to do a filter, right? Oh, what ID was it? Oh, ID 7, so we're going to do ID equals 7, Grace, and then I come here and now I can edit it. Well, in Beekeeper, if you click edit data, as long as it can identify the primary key related to your data, so in this case, it can, you can just edit in here directly. And the same two buttons, the same behavior. If I refresh here, it's now in the database. So that makes that process a lot quicker. We also have a manual commit mode, right? So this is auto commit. So every time you run a query, it commits, right? It commits the transaction. If you don't know what transaction is, you should just leave it in auto commit mode. But if you do, you can put it on manual commit mode. I can select star from actor, transactions active, warning, warning, warning Will Robinson, right? Like it's orange, like you have a transaction active. But now I can make my changes. So here, I can apply them, right? Whoop, wait, that's a different one. It's number 6. Okay, that's fine. Right? This has not been applied. It's in the transaction, right? I can go, okay, everything's great. I'm going to commit my transaction, successfully committed. Now that data has been updated. So this is really useful for having really clear, explicit control over your query context, especially when editing data. It just really gives you that extra level of control that auto commit mode doesn't have. So if you know what transactions are and you like to use them, you can use them directly in the query editor in Beekeeper. Okay, now I've been talking a lot, right? Oh my God, you're so bored. I hope you're almost at the end of your cup of tea. I'll show you one final thing before we move on. Before I do, let me save this query, demo query. And I'll put that in my queries bucket here. There we go. So there's my demo query. If I open it now, it'll open it again. Don't need some of those in there. Let's take those out. But I'm recording this in 2026. Like writing code is kind of old school. Instead, I can open an AI shell tab. Now, this is a feature that embeds basically like a Claude code session inside of Beekeeper Studio. There's no Beekeeper servers in the way here. This connects directly to your agent. In fact, you have to provide your own keys, right? We don't do anything to get in the way of this. All of the code that runs the AI shell is open source, so you can go view it yourself, like go make sure you're happy with it. It's very simple and straightforward. But now we can just ask the AI shell some questions, and it'll solve your questions without having to go back and forth. Like it'll just explore your database and run queries right here. So for example, I can say, what's the most profitable store in my business? And this will run off and it will explore the schema and it will select from, oh, well, that one's too easy. What's the most profitable film each store? And it will explore the schema on its own and run SQL to check results and get your answer. By default, I'm allowing it to run read-only queries without asking permission. But if I turn this off, verify your answer, every time it goes to run SQL, it will ask permission, right? So in this case, do you want to let it run this query? You can edit it before allowing it to run. In this case, I'm just going to say, yep, go ahead. And it'll keep running queries and exploring the data to, in this case, to verify that its answer was correct. So I didn't have to set this context up. I didn't have to manually copy and paste or anything, really. Like, the AI just kind of figured out what to do. And so this is kind of my new favorite way of doing analytics, especially because it has the data to verify its own assumptions. And I can add the safeguards I need with the settings up here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick walkthrough. This was Beekeeper Studio. It's downloadable for free, works on Mac, Windows, and Linux. I'm running here on Linux, in fact. So please give it a try. Join us on GitHub. We have a great community. And thanks very much. We'll see you soon.